The Army can't even recruit. They had to lower their standards because everyone was too big and slow. Show me a 70-year-old who can do this. Powerful woman or man at Health and Human Services. Rachel Levine, would you consider...
Hey, how can I help? No problem, it's on its way.
Emergency agencies that lied about COVID and told us to hide from a virus that spreads inside. Why are Democrats so bad at shape about a ripped 70-year-old wanting to take food coloring at an arena and go for a hike once in a while? This guy wants clean water and fresh fruit, and Democrats are calling him crazy. RFK Jr. saying, let's diet and exercise, and the left saying, no, stay inside, eat takeout, and inject Ozempic. If anyone tells you that's healthy, they're the threat. Trump's mandate was to make America healthy again, get DEI and CRT out of the Pentagon, and fire the spies who lied to us. If you're against that, you just outed yourself.
The choice of Tulsi Gabbard as DNI is not in the best interest of the American people. It's not in the best interest of our national security. This is so extraordinarily dangerous.
Being a serviceman, it does not make you qualified to lead the Department of Defense and to have access to our nuclear weapons. I'm very disturbed by this. This guy is clearly a sycophant for Donald Trump. The Attorney General sees the most sensitive intelligence in the government. He's threatening to blow up the department and has accused it of being corrupt. And there's a real fear inside the Justice Department that he or people like him would order investigations where there was no predicate, where there was no crime.
So the CIA and Wall Street are going to be putting up a big fight over Trump's cabinet. Big. The country voted for change, and they're going to try to stop it. It's not just about eliminating their power, profiteering, and corruption. It's about exposing what they've done. Like the Department of Justice, who spied on Trump, raided his house, arrested him, covered up for the Bidens. They're acting like the Gates nomination could break them. The headline in Politico, you thought the DOJ staffers were in a full-blown freakout before? What the F is happening? OMG, I'm struggling to find words. Why are they surprised that Trump wants a reckoning at DOJ? The department that covered up Epstein, Diddy, and Trump assassination attempt. Who did you think Trump was going to put in charge there? Tulsi, Hegseth, Gates, Kennedy, Washington's worst nightmare. Sources inside the Pentagon say the mood's dark, feels like a morgue, and they're worried about a shakeup. Every single person that was elevated and appointed by Milley will be gone. The State Department's so scared of change, they're emptying their bank accounts and sending all their money to Ukraine.
Over here!
President Biden is committed to making sure that every dollar we have at our disposal will be pushed out the door between now and January 20th.
These people weren't scared that Trump's a fascist. They're scared that he's infected. Washington looks like a bunch of scared teens trying to clean up their rooms before Dad comes home. And everyone's being polite. You don't want to get on his bad side.
What happened to the threat of democracy talk? What happened to the fascist talk? By the way, I know I said those things about Trump as well, but I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about his political opponents like President Biden. And they say it holds way more weight than me. I'm just trying to figure out how do you go from even existential threat to democracy. So when I'm back,
Trump's picking firebrands to tear down the system that tried to destroy us. Fetterman calls it karma.
I would describe it as God-tier level trolling to just trigger a full-on China syndrome to own the live in perpetuity.
If the Republicans stick together, there's nothing anybody can do about it. We have everything they want, that we want, everything we voted for, everything we were promised. So you're going to see an avalanche of leaks and lies about these nominees to break the will of the Senate. And if the Senate loses its nerve, then the will of the people loses. I know it all seems a little crazy, but at least we're not New Zealand. This is what they're up to over there. Jillian Michaels is a fitness expert and campaigned alongside RFK Jr., and she joins me now. So, Jillian, you must be happy for Bobby.
Over Joy, I have so much to say, but I'll just wait for you to hit me with all the questions. I'm ecstatic. Trump delivered on his promise. I could not be happier and more grateful about this.
Yeah,
And all the Democrats can thank us later.
right. We're going to have everybody lose 40 pounds, and they're going to look fantastic. We're not just happy for Bobby, we're happy for the country. Because if he's put in charge and he does what he promises to do, we can all maybe live longer, feel better about ourselves, and stop popping so many pills. Why is that controversial?
It's controversial because he's going to be overseeing, I think it's 11 different agencies, from the FDA, USDA, the NIH, and the list goes on, the CDC. So the lines of big farming, big pharma, big food, and big insurance are in an absolute panic. He is going to tear down their multi-billion-dollar industries. When you think about how much of our tax subsidy dollars go to companies like Monsanto, which he sued, by the way, and won the suit against them, go to companies like Monsanto to create genetically engineered crops covered in pesticides, herbicides, fungicides, chemical fertilizers that they sell, that poison us, that make us sick, that destroy our environment. He's going to stop that. And that's the tip of this iceberg we are in panic.
Right, because if we're eating toxic foods and then getting sick and then being prescribed medication and then going to the hospital and then dying earlier, it's not only making us a sick country, but it's also racking up massive debt while these people who are preying on us are getting filthy rich. He has to go in there and break that entire system to smithereens. Do you expect, I'm talking massive resistance, massive, like maybe big Intel type of resistance here?
I don't disagree with you, and that's why the next step is getting it confirmed by the Senate, and we need to apply as much pressure as possible as citizens. I mean, even hashtags like confirm RFK Jr. I know that sounds ridiculous, but on every level, we need to let them know that we're watching, that we demand change, that there's been a clear mandate, that anybody who doesn't comply here will be held accountable in the next set of elections. Period.
You know, being healthy is like, it's free. You don't have to buy a lot of things to go outside and take a walk, or drink water instead of soda, or maybe get food that's not like just laced with additives. It's so simple that if you live a simple, clean lifestyle, then they're not going to make as much money, and they're not going to have as much power in Washington, and the Democrats would have been sad. Turns out that was just the start. Liberals are finding creative ways to cope with the idea Trump's going to be president, and this time he's not messing around. Wolfie is threatening a sex strike.
I mean, the Taliban, I read the Taliban is so happy that we didn't pick a woman, you know. There's a lot of anti-women feeling around the world. Be careful.
Well, I'm just going to say this. I dare, you didn't get here by yourself, man. You can't do this without us. And we don't let you go.
Democrats aren't just giving up sex. They're giving up the thing they like the most. Attention. Kind of. Don Lemon quit Twitter. Well, then immediately came back and asked people to follow him. Joy Reid said that she's quitting too.
Hey guys, so today I finally did something I've been meaning to do for a while, and the reason for doing it, and kissing goodbye my 1.9 million followers over there, is because I've been posting for a long time. I just didn't want to contribute content once it was purchased by its present owner.
Talking to fewer people isn't how you win elections. That was one of Kamala's biggest mistakes on the trail. She skipped Rogan today for finding out she didn't want to do the podcast because she didn't want to offend her liberal staffers. There was a backlash with some of our progressive staff that didn't want her to be on it. Anyone who cares this much about their staff's feelings is unfit. Well, except me. I care deeply. Kamala was so scared to hurt people's feelings, she never came up with an agenda. Americans don't like that. Even some migrants don't like it. They think they're better off with Trump, even if they're going to get deported.
If you get deported, would you regret your support for Donald Trump?
No me arrepentiría.
He's saying that he wouldn't regret supporting Donald Trump. So you're really not thinking about yourself. You're thinking about your children and the future of your children.
Yes, I want to learn from my children.
Liberals love to tell you they're allies of blacks and Latinos, but blacks and Latinos think libs are crazy. The Financial Times study shows white liberals are way more radical than blacks and Hispanics. I mean, way more. More blacks and Hispanics are proud to be Americans than white liberals. Blacks and Hispanics want tighter borders than white liberals. White liberals think America is more of a racist country than blacks and Hispanics. Blacks and Hispanics believe you can make it in America if you work hard. White liberals, not so much. White liberals are alone in an island while the rest of the country's over here in a place we like to call normal. If liberals could just wipe the tears out of their eyes, maybe they could see a little bit better and notice everyone around them thinks they're open borders atheists who hate America. Kat Sad, the visiting professor and global ambassador at Northwood University and could be our next Secretary of Treasury. Who the heck knows at this point? Okay. Kat Sad. Let's start with the sex strike. What would motivate a woman to have a sex strike for political reasons?
Well, in the case of Whoopi Goldberg, maybe we should be celebrating that she don't have sex drive. By the way, in the pursuit of male feminism, I announced to my wife recently that I am now holding sexy time with me until Trump is no longer in power. So you see, I truly am a male feminist.
Oh man, your poor wife. Oh God, I don't know if she could make it 24 hours. Well,
Sure.
Tell me about the idea. I'm going to make a big announcement. I'm leaving Twitter. What are liberals trying to accomplish there?
Well, they have a completely false sense of their importance, right? I wrote an article a few years ago on the narcissism and grandiosity of celebrities, because if you're surrounded for 20 years with people who cater to every one of your wins, then you're fully decoupled from reality. So you think that when you're going to announce that I'm leaving the platform, there's going to be a cataclysmic earthquake with people crying. Then you realize that nobody cares. So you quietly come back and say, oh, I was just kidding. Please love me again.
All right. And what else do we have with these crazy people? It seems like white liberals, Dad, are so far out there. I've never seen it. They don't think the country's a great place. They don't want a tight border. And blacks and Hispanics, who I guess they vote together with white liberals, are like, this is not what we believe. What is this pretend for the Democratic Party?
Well, no place do you see that more, by the way, Jesse, than in academia, right? Which is at the root of all of those reflexes that you are highlighting. So the day or two after Trump won, I went on my personal Facebook page just to see what all of my colleagues, the behavioral scientists and the consumer psychologists and the economists were saying, and they were absolutely stunned that he won. They couldn't come up with a single possible reason for why he won, other than the fact that they live in a country full of deplorables and the great unwashed. Now imagine, we pay $400,000 for these professors to teach our kids, but they can't close the circle for you. It's pretty bad.
All right, we're going to have a czar to go up there and fire a bunch of people, RFK Jr. style. Let me know. And please end the sex strike. Your wife, it's just don't put her through that, Kat. It's just me. Have a great evening.
You take care.
A major FBI raid. While searching after getting bombed last week, John Fetterman thinks it's time for Nancy to hang up her cleats. Quote, I think it's really ironic that you have a woman at age 84 and she's still hanging on. Why not give a younger generation an opportunity to occupy that seat? Nancy disagrees. She filed her re-election paperwork this morning. And why should she retire? Stock market's up, and she thinks the Democratic Party's doing fine.
The brand of the Democratic Party overall seems to have been cursed this election cycle.
Well, I think we lost the presidential election, and in many cases, our Democrats in the House ran ahead of the presidential ticket. So you're branding that we all got rejected. We didn't. We're still in the fight right now, and it's going to be a very close call. I don't see it as an outright rejection of the Democratic Party.
Sorry to answer, Lush. The party's policies were a mess, and so is its messaging.
Do you think that Democrats can win a national election if they continue on this path where they demonize, call someone a Nazi collaborator just because they don't like their point of view on one issue?
We're going to keep losing if we do that. We're not going to be able to win elections if we don't at least entertain and debate a variety of them. But this is all this Fox News. Like, shut up. Like, talk to some people who live near you.
Tipco, the Republican National Spokeswoman. How you doing, Elizabeth? You feeling a little bit better than the Democratic Party?
I'm certainly feeling a lot better than the Democratic Party. How are you doing?
I'm feeling great. Better. Do you think he ever appoint Nancy's too old not to pass the torch?
You know, I think he has a point. I think he's missing the part that we've all kind of noticed these last 8 years. She's not just missing that youth vote and excitement. She's actually missing it because she lacks authenticity, right? If I could quickly shout out my little brother, by the way, happy birthday, Gabe, I love you. He told me in 2015, when he first heard a rumor that Donald Trump might run for president, that this was going to be the next president of the United States, because he said he had never seen young people so excited. He said if the American people get what they want and get what they deserve, Donald Trump will be president. He was right in 2016, and he was right again, obviously, last week. The fact is the Democrats lack any kind of connection to their voting base. They lost that in 2016 when Donald Trump came on the scene and was a different kind of politician than any Democrat or Republican had ever been before.
Why do you think they lost that connection? Ezra Klein, biggest lib out there, he said that they just don't even listen to the voters. They live in these huge cities, but cities are falling apart, and they deny they're falling apart, and they don't hear everybody telling them, hey, can we fix the cities?
Well, the fact is they don't listen to them because they believe they don't have to, right? They've always believed they could manufacture a story, they could manufacture a candidate, and they can manufacture support for that candidate. They have now learned that that is not a winning strategy anymore, and that's because Donald Trump woke up the American people, right? The Democrat Party for many years now has believed they are more powerful than the will of the people because they have so many institutions on their side. Unfortunately, they learned the hard way when Donald Trump stood up after everything that was thrown his way these last 4 years and said, the American people want me back in office, and that is where I will be. He was obviously vindicated on November 5th and vindicated in the kind of landslide nobody saw coming, and which I can only assume will make Democrats reassess that losing strategy.
Yeah, now donors don't even want to pony up for the midterms because it's just like lighting cash on fire. They don't trust the party to handle the money wisely because they were lied to about it being a close race when they were really just skimming 10% off the top for celebrities like Oprah. Do you feel the excitement that the country feels? There's people that aren't even into politics. The rollout of the cabinet is like, it's like the Price is Right. Come on now. It's like everybody, your phone blows up. Oh my gosh, it's Vivek. It's Elon. It's Gates. It's RFK Jr. Every day, it's like, it's a surprise.
Yeah, it's almost like the American people are excited when they get what they asked for, right? That's right. It's when you actually listen to your voters. You not only win the election in a landslide, but you also gain the excitement, the support, and the faith of the American people, right? They have faith in not just Donald Trump, but in this administration in the next 4 years because they feel like they're finally being listened to. We said this in 2016. Donald Trump won because he spoke to the forgotten man and woman, and thanks to him, they are forgotten no more.
All right, happy birthday, Gabe. I didn't want to let his birthday go unnoticed. Elizabeth, good to see you.